Good morning and welcome to FEI.tv. I'm Rosie Russell and we're here on our final day of action at the FEI Eventing European Championships for our junior riders in Motelibretti. We have had a fantastic 3 days of competition, but it all comes down to today.
Siamo arrivati a questa quarta giornata di gara, siamo arrivati alla terza prova, la prova di salto. Ovviamente immagino che molti di voi avranno le classifiche provvisorie sotto mano davanti agli occhi e come vedete è una classifica corta, una classifica che si è andata a modificare dopo le prime due prove e quindi dovremo seguire con attenzione tutti i concorrenti di questo Europeo Juniors, anche ovviamente ancora di più quanto vale l'Europeo Young Rider. Inizieremo alle ore 11, ovviamente i concorrenti entreranno in ordine inverso in base alla classifica. We will start at 11 o'clock with the first rider, Abigail Nevada, for the European Eventing Championship Juniors.
Tra 10 minuti l'inizio della terza prova del campionato europeo Junior 2023. minutes we will start the show jumping FEI European Eventing Championship Juniors 2023. Ancora 5 minuti per l'inizio della prova di salto scafo per i campionati europei Junior 2023. And 5 minutes we will start the show jumping for FEI European Eventing Championship Junior 2023. l'inizio alla categoria la terza juniors vinted. We are now to start the show jumping FEI European Eventing Championship Juniors 2023.
Welcome to FEI.tv. I'm Rosie Russell and I'll be taking you through this final day of action here at the FEI European Eventing Championships for juniors here in Motelibretti. We have had a fantastic 3 days of action, but it all comes down to this final day and to this show jump competition. Currently out in front in our team performance, it is Germany leading in that gold medal position. A pole ahead of the Great British team there on 81.40, and it's France who are currently in the bronze medal position. But we turn to our first rider coming forward for the day. Currently sat in 70th position for Romania. Our first rider will be Abigail Yasmin Vida and Mersuch 25:37. Show jumping track designed by Emmanuel Aldis. And unfortunately, fence 3 falling there, so 4 penalties for every fence down. And just coming a little bit unstuck there in the middle of the double and the middle of the treble and coming out. So 3 poles down at the moment, 12 penalties. Such a 9-year-old. Coming around now to their final fence. So 4 fences for, that will be 16 penalties to add there for Abigail Yasmin Vida and Mersuch 25:37. Combination who jumped clear on the cross country yesterday, just picking up a few time penalties. Well, on we go now to our next individual rider. Combination who were sat in 69th coming into the show jumping here on a score of 68. An individual rider for Slovakia is the turn of Sofia Laura Petranova and Furioso 36.5 ULA. Time allowed for this track, 71 seconds. Unfortunately, taking fence 3 there, so 4 penalties to add. And the 3 elements of the treble, it's very hard once you knock that first element of the treble to keep the other 2 elements up. Combination who had 1 run out yesterday out on course at 12B, but were in fact very speedy, did manage to make the time. So taking that turn round now to the final fence. Well, not to be on the final day there for Sofia Laura Petronova Furioso, but a huge achievement in itself just to complete these FEI European Junior Championships. It really is a celebration just to be able to turn up, have a horse and rider fit and ready to compete, especially on the final day of competition. As on we go now to our next rider in the ring, this time a team rider coming forward for Belgium. Sat on a score of 57.1. It's the turn of Marcus Burgers and Calista van Vickenhove. Combination who picked up 20 penalties yesterday at 7B, the ditch in the coffin, but jumped the rest of the round absolutely beautifully. And it's looking good so far on the start of their show jumping. This 13-year-old gelding. They were at the Junior Europeans last year, so they have this championship experience under their belt. And unfortunately, fence 8 falling. So just 4 penalties to add there for Marcus Burgers, Calista van Vickenhove. 61.1 will be their final score.
Adesso, signori, l'Italia di Sofia Pini, Calgary, Kansas. Loro sono appunto il quarto binomio di questo salto.
So that keeps them in their 65th position, but now we turn our attentions to the first rider in the arena for the home nation, riding as an individual for Italy. Sofia Pini and Calgary, Kansas. 51.2, I should say, their score coming into the show jumping. Picked up 20 penalties yesterday at 14A. But they did manage to make the time cross country. Well, looking good so far. Coming around to this last section of the course. Will we see our first clear round of the day? Yes, we do. She looks absolutely delighted. Clear round there. Nothing to add to their two-phase score. 51.2 for the home nation, Sofia Pini, Calgary, Kansas. Well inside that time allowed. Time allowed, of course, of 71 seconds. So we've had our first clear round, and from the home nation. But what will we see from our next rider coming forwards? It's the turn of an individual rider from Hungary, Alice Kiriali and Delibab Felho. 45.8. Their two-phase score.
Quindi una buona prova importante, uno 0 importante quello di Sofia Pini, Calgary, Kansas.
He did in fact jump clear inside the time yesterday on cross country, but unfortunately taking that rail there at fence 3. They took quite a tight turn into it. So they got in deep, but they are clear as they are approaching the final stretch of the course. So just 4 penalties there, well inside the time allowed for Elise Kiriali and Delibab Felho, 53.8. Beg your pardon, the last fence fell. So 8 penalties there for Elise Kiriali, Delibab Felho. As on we go to a team rider coming forward for Poland. This time it's the turn of Karolina Miss and Go Jack, bringing forward the score of 44.8. Sat in 65th overnight. The Polish team currently sat in 10th place in front of Ireland, but only 0.2 separating Poland and Ireland. Looking to be jumping the first 2 fences with a lot of scope. Very nicely through the treble. Go Jack, a very good show jumper. Over 12 runs, 12 international runs, they've only ever had 1 pole down. Well, the streak continues. 13 international runs now and only 1 pole down across those 13. Absolutely phenomenal in this final phase for Karolina Miss and Go Jack. 44.6 will be their final score. So 44.6. That's the score to beat so far. As we move on to our next rider joining us in the arena is another for Poland, but this time an individual rider coming forwards. Is the turn of Olivia Maisio and Bankit, 44.6. These scores so incredibly tight. Clear rounds really do matter. In our individual standings, there's only 1 pole between 1st and 8th. That's how close this competition is. So unfortunately, fence 3 falling there. Now turning back on themselves to 7 here. One fence left now for the Polish rider, Olivia Maisio and Bankit. So it looked like one pole down, 4 penalties there. So they will finish on 48.4. Inside that time allowed of 71 seconds. So that will slot them behind fellow Polish rider Karolina Miss and Gojak, who we've just seen in the arena. So we've had 2 clears inside the time so far. Now we move on to individual rider for Belgium, Mila Brakeman and Hoppete Hansel. 42.4 the score they're bringing forward after 2 phases. Sat in 63rd overnight. So the start of the treble goes. 4 penalties to add there. They make their way down to the bottom half of the arena. Lots of turns back on themselves down here. This course cleverly designed by Manuel Addis. Well, over the last looks to be 4 penalties, 46.4 will be their final score. For Mila Brakeman, Hoppete Hansel, individual riders for Belgium. 46.4 means they slot behind Karolina Miss and Gojak. In fact, I think they finish on the same score as Olivia Maisio and Bankit. So still the score to beat, 44.6 from Karolina Miss Gojak for Poland. But what will we see from the first of our Spanish riders coming forward as an individual? Tania Montero Baqueles and Dibalbi. .2 was their 2-phase score. Combination who jumped clear yesterday out on the cross country. Picked up 4.8 time penalties. Well, unfortunately, the middle section of the treble going. No trouble over the water tray at fence 5. So to the final stretch of fences. Time's looking absolutely fine here. Well, unfortunately, the double goes, and unfortunately a bit of a slide there through that final fence. So 12 penalties for Tania Montero Belaquez and Dibalbi for Spain. 54.2 will be the final score. That will put them down into 63rd position as it stands. But on we go to our next rider for Spain, also riding as an individual, Nahia Fernandez Ferreras and Hans. Bring forward that 2-phase score, 41.8. Hans, this 14-year-old. They continued their fantastic cross-country streak yesterday. Clear inside the time. That means from their 10 international career runs, they've never had a cross-country jumping penalty. But what can they do here today in the show jumping? Clear so far over the first three. It's looking good as we're approaching our final stretch here for Nahia Fernandez Ferreras and Hans. So one pole down by the looks of it. 4 faults there for Nahia Fernandez Ferreras and Hans. So 45.8 as they slot into 58th position. Still the best we've seen so far from Carolina Miss. Go Jack. 44.6 is the score to beat. 2 riders clear inside the time so far. But we now turn to another rider from Poland as an individual now. It's a turn of Polowazeska and Nimbus. 40.7 was their 2-phase score. So they have to jump clear if they want to stay in front of Carolina Miss and Go Jack. Well, the first rail goes. And the final rail there in the triple. For this 11-year-old Geldin. Combination 5th at Stragom, 2-star short. And problems down at fence 6. So that does class as a refusal, and our course building team will come in and rebuild the fence before Polo starts again. So the fence has been rebuilt and she's back underway. She'll come round and reapproach fence 6 at the bottom of the arena there. And 2 refusals, I think, does unfortunately mean an elimination there for Polowazeska and Nimbus not to be on the final day of their European Championship. But a huge achievement to even have been selected to come to these championships. But on we go now to our next rider joining us in the arena. Riding as part of Team Finland. B. Valgren and Baleno join us in the arena. 40.6 was their 2-phase score. Team Finland currently in 8th place. 3 penalties in front of Spain. This combination jumped clear yesterday, picked up at 3.2 time penalties out on cross country. Fence 3-4, so 4 penalties to add there. Well, I know this 17-year-old gelding. Currently on a score of 8 penalties from the show jumping round as they're approaching the final stretch of the course. But unfortunately, run into trouble there at 9A. That's the first element of the final double. 2 doubles in this course designed by Manuel Addis. Big pardon, 1 double and 1 treble. So our fence has been rebuilt by the fantastic course team here at Motelibretti. Bees back underway through the double combination. And over the final fence there. So look to be a bit over the time there. The time allowed 71 seconds. And I believe 12 penalties to add from the jumping. But we'll get these scores confirmed for you shortly. Another rider coming forward for Spain now, but part of the team. The Spanish team sat in 9th place. Just over 2 penalties behind the Team Finland. But this time it is the turn of Isabel Diaz-Verdugo and Jamiro. 39.8 the score they bring forwards from the first 2 phases. Sat in 58th overnight. Well, through the triple combination safely. Jamiro, this 12-year-old mare. Combination picked up a 3rd at Madrid, 2-star long this year. Making their way around to the final fence. Will they be our 3rd clear round inside the time of the day? And they are. She looks absolutely delighted, Isabel Diaz-Verdugo, and quite rightly so. What a way to finish their Junior European Championship campaign. So that does mean that they go into the lead currently of our completed competitors, 39.7. So Isabel Diaz-Verdugo, Jamiro, the ones to beat at the moment. But on we go now for another rider for the home nation. as part of Team Italy. It's Federica Vincenti and Bad Boy Z. 39.7 their two-phase score. Combination who jumped clear yesterday. Picked up 5.2 time penalties on the cross country. Heading round to this fence 6 right at the bottom of the arena. These riders then turn back on themselves to 7 here. Up to the final stretch, and unfortunately taking the fence there at 8. And the last 4, so looks to be 8 penalties there for Federica Vincenti Bad Boy Z.
Sembrava fatta, invece arrivano 2 errori per l'italiana. 8 anche per la nostra Federica Vincenti.
So they're finished 47.7. So still the score to beat from Isabel Diaz Verdugo Jamero, 39.8. So on we go now to our next individual rider coming forward for Hungary. Anna Clara Petiki and Leonard Forti, 39.1, their two-phase score. This combination have competed up to 1.35 meter show jumping, pure show jumping that is, with this 12-year-old gelding. Well, now coming to the back end of their course, Alva Sala Alonso, Kiss My Jambo M, 38.9, their two-phase score. And absolutely delighted to be finishing on that. And quite rightly so, 38.9. The new score to beat here in the individual competition in our junior European Eventing Championships. Well, what will we see from our next rider as an individual coming forward for Switzerland? The turn of Dana Gore and Dulcinea Dominica. 38.2 is their two-phase score. You can just see how close this competition is. But it's looking very good so far over the first two fences. For the 7-year-old mare. Still got lots of spring after yesterday. Through the treble combination with no trouble at all. They jumped clear inside the time on the cross country yesterday. But unfortunately, fence 7-4s across the middle of the arena there. Just waiting to find her stride for this final double. Met that beautifully. So 4 faults there. 42.2 the final score for Dana and Dulcinea Dominica.
Adesso per l'Irlanda ritorniamo nel team Julia Adams, Nick Ardeo.
So our score to beat so far, 38.9. Alva Salah Alonso, Kiss My Jumbo M. But we now turn to Ireland, coming forward as part of the Irish team. And it's the turn of Julia Adams, Milchi Mardeo, 38.1 is the score they bring forward from the first two phases. Another one of our combinations to be inside that optimum time and clear yesterday on the cross country. Motelibretti, this 12-year-old mare. They were at the Europeans last year and picked up 8th place individually. Well, it's looking good, coming down to the final fence now. And a fantastic... Oh, unfortunately, there was 4 faults there for Julia Adams and Milchi Ardeo. For the Irish team, Team Ireland, who are currently sat in 11th place as a team. As we move on to their second team rider coming forwards. Ted O'Leary joins us in the arena now with Master Swatch. Master Swatch by Watermill Swatch. 37.9 their two-phase score.
Ceca.
Anna Balkarova, Magnolia Double Diamond. She's competing for the Czech Republic team.
So now we're joined by our next rider in the arena. Coming forward for the Czech Republic. Riding as one of the team members is Anna Balkarova and Magnolia Double Diamond. Magnolia Double Diamond, just a 6-year-old. 37.2 the score they come forward with after 2 phases. That's 3-4, so I think that's 4 penalties to add there. Another 4 to add from the final element of the treble combination. This 6-year-old gelding started his international career this year. The FEI European Championships. And the first year of competing internationally is a huge achievement in itself. So not quite the ending they would have hoped for, but a completion there for Anna Balkarova, Magnolia Double Diamond. Riding as a team member there for the Czech Republic.
E allora 20.80, c'è anche una leggera inflazione sul tempo, questo è il risultato.
CFS High Spec.
20.80 total points, also for the time. Time 71.37. Andiamo avanti con la Svizzera di Sara Rudissuli e CSF Icepack.
Combination jumped clear inside the time yesterday.
72.
Dressage score of 37.1. Now down to this influential treble combination. Met that beautifully through all 3 elements. CFS High Spec, 14 years old. Combination placed 7th at Caravino 2-star long. Looking good so far, heading down to the final line now. "71 seconds the time allowed. Well, no trouble with the time. Clear round there for Sara Rudishvili. CFS High Spec finishing on their dressage score of 37.1.
E allora una buona gara per Sara Rudissuli, CSF Icepack, Svizzera.
So they make it clear round number 6 inside the time so far today. What will we see from our next team rider coming forward for Ireland? This is the turn of Moeshihi and TMX Herbie. TMX Herbie by VDL's Morocco Blue. 36.6 the score they're coming forward with from the first two phases.
E loro sono parte del team dell'Irlanda.
Momo Sheena Herbie, she is competing for the Ireland team.
Clear inside the time yesterday on cross country. Unfortunately, that middle element there of that treble going. 4 penalties to add there. Team X Herbie, this 11-year-old gelding. Former ride of Tim Lips up to the 4-star level. So time fine, 1 pole down, 4 penalties, 40.6 the final score there for Momo and TMX Herbie. That puts them into 50th position as it stands. The best completion we've had so far was from our previous rider, Sarah Rudishili, CFS High Spec 37.1.
Sara Giulia Goslag, Tintoretto del quadrifoglio. È un componente del team, Tintoretto del quadrifoglio, un cavallo italiano che nasce nello stallone performa Jaguar Mail.
Tintoretto del quadrifoglio.
For the Italy team, Sara Giulia Goslag,
36.2 they bring forward from the first two phases. Combination with top 20 at these Europeans last year, placing 18th there at Hartbury in the UK. Fell very nicely down through the treble combination at 4. But unfortunately that top of the water tray there falls at 5, so 4 penalties to add. To this final line. So just the 1 down, 4 penalties, 40.2 the final score there for Sarah Giulia Goslag and Tintoretto del quadrifoglio. Well inside that time allowed of 71 seconds.
444, Sara Giulia Goslag e Tintoretto del quadrifoglio, 40.16 total point at the show jumping.
So this is an
Adesso
incredibly
la Repubblica Ceca,
competition we have here.
due concorrenti, uno di seguito all'altro, entrambi fanno parte del team. Andrea Novotna, Courier.
Just fractions of penalties separating these riders.
Novotna,
We turn round now to the team rider for the Czech Republic, Andrea Novotina and Korea. By Junksky. 35.1 the penalties are coming forward with from the first two phases. Sat in 45th overnight. Unfortunately, fence 2 goes. Another pole down. 8 penalties so far as they hit the midsection of the course. My gosh, doesn't Korea jump over the water tray at 5. Really, really using himself. This 8-year-old gelding. Time's looking good.
8. Queste sono le
All over the last
penalità per
2 poles down, 8 penalties, 43.1 for Andrea Novotná and Korea for the Czech Republic. And now we go on to another rider for Czech Republic, also starting on the same score as fellow rider Andrea Novotná, 35.1. But it is in fact the turn of Teresa Kusa. Quantos mer?
Now Teresa Kusa, quantos mer? She is competing for the Czech Republic team.
Fellow team rider. Czech Republic currently sat in 7th place on the team standings. This 10-year-old gelding. New partnership this year for Teresa and Quantos Mer. Well, they rattled that first element of the treble, but it stayed. Four fences left now. 35.1 their two-phase score. Can they finish on it? Just one fence between them and that finishing on a dressage score, and she's absolutely delighted. It was a hairy moment at the final fence, but they have done it. 35.1. That's the score to beat now, Teresa Kusa. Quantos mer? That will be a valuable score as well for the team competition.
Chiude con le 0 penalità Teresa Kusa.
So currently, as it stands from our completed competitors, it is the Czech Republic out in front from that fantastic round we just saw there, Teresa Kusa. Sarudashvili CFS High Spec currently in second, 37.1, and as it stands in third, Alessandra Alonso and Kiss My Jambo for Spain. But it is far from over here in Motelibretti, as we move on now to a team rider for Belgium. Caroline van der Rossum and Dalverdem Fazed. 35 is their two-phase score. Sat in 43rd position overnight. Jumped clear inside the time yesterday on the cross country. Unfortunately, one rail down there in that treble combination. Down for Dempfers, just a 7-year-old mare. Well, just 4 penalties there. 39 the final score for Caroline and Dalva down for Z. That moves them into 4th place on our completed riders.
Ancora un team della Francia con Leilani
Into
Watson,
44th in the overall standings at the moment.
4-4 for Caroline Van Rossum and Dalva Dane for 39 total points after the short jumping.
Now we turn our attentions to a team rider coming forward for France, Liliane Watson. Divinette Blanche, our first riders out on course yesterday. Fantastic trailblazers, posting the clear inside the time to get the day underway. So 34 there at 2-phase score. Divinette Blanche was previously a show jumper in her former life until 2020, when Benjamin Massey took the reins for one run and then Liliane took over from then on out. One fence left. And their show jumping experience pulling through, finishing on that score of 34. Such a valuable score there, not only individually but also for the French team, who of course are currently sat in that bronze medal position. It really is all to play for. Fantastic start there for the French team. Liliane Watson, Divinette Blanche, nothing to add to their dressage score, 34. So that is the score to beat now. Pushing Teresa Cusa back into second place of our completed riders, and Sara Ruda-Shilly CFS High Spec into third. But we move on now to the turn of Kato de Smit, Bon Mahon Silver Vixen. This combination coming forwards, part of the Belgium team. 33.9 their 2-phase score. Combination who sat in 40th overnight.
E bene, allora andiamo a seguire la prova di Kato de Smit, Belgio, Phenomenal Silver Vixen. Belgio team, Kato de Smit.
Bon Mahon Silver Vixen. This 11-year-old gelding by Bon Mahon Master Blue. Taking more of an inside line into fence 3 there, and it paid off. He did well to get through the treble, added in an extra stride to the first element, but were able to get through all 3 without picking up any penalties. Combination placed second here at Motelibretti at the start of the year in the Junior 2-star. They've done it. 33.9 will be their final score For Team Belgium, Kato de Smit, Von Mahon, Silver Vixen finish on their dressage score there of 33.9. Well, these clears are coming thick and fast now. They've set the standard, 33.9. Like I say, this competition is seriously tight. Between first place and 8th, there is only one pole. Clears really do matter as we turn now to Ryder coming forward as an individual for Ireland. It's the turn of Amelia McCarthy.
She is competing as an individual.
Bringing forward a ride fin scale endeavour. 33.8 from the first two phases, 39th overnight. Looking good so far for the 8-year-old mare and Amelia McCarthy. Bit of a rattle there. They got away with it. This combination only being outside the top 10 once internationally together. Down to this final line. Time's looking good. Just one fence between them and home. Fantastic round there. 33.8 will be the final score there for Amelia McCarthy. Fin skill endeavour.
And it's a clear. Tre percorsi, signori, senza errori, tutti quanti.
And better, 33.8. That's the score to beat. That will be a very useful score indeed when it comes to this final leaderboard here. Of course, riding as an individual as we turn to another individual rider in the arena for Team Ireland. Anya Connolly coming forward with Castle Quarter Rambo. 33.7 was their two-phase score. Castle Quarter Rambo, one of our older horses in the field, at 18 years old. Still looking as fresh as ever in this final phase. And unfortunately, all three elements of the treble fall. 12 penalties so far. And in fact, fence 5 also went, so they're on 16 as they're heading into the latter stages of the course. Very keen in that final double. So 16 penalties it is for Anya Connolly and Castle Quarter Rambo. Alongside the time allowed.
16.4 for Anya Connolly, 49.70 total points.
49.7 them down into 8th place. As it stands across the whole leaderboard. And another Irish rider joins us in the arena, but this time riding as part of the team. It's Tom Nestor and Cooley Diamond Dancer by Jack of Diamonds. 33.4 their two-phase score.
1 second, please. Ragazzi, il nostro della doppia gabbia, per favore, la barriera nel colore corretto.
37th overnight.
Esatto, grazie.
33.8 our current completed best score there from Amelia McCarthy.
Thank you. E allora possiamo adesso
What can we see
seguire
from
Tom
fellow
Nestor.
Irishman Tom Nestor?
Cooley Diamond Dancer for the Ireland team.
Cooley Diamond Dancer, formerly show jumped by Prudhoe. So over the halfway mark, taking this turn back round to fence 7 in the middle of the arena. So far, so good for Tom Nestor. Cooley Diamond Dancer. The time. On the finish, 33.4, his dressage score from day one. Absolutely delighted. That's our score to beat, 33.4. And that is also a very good score for the Irish team. Will be a useful one. Indeed. Now we turn our attention to Poland. Team rider coming forward. This time it's Zuzana Kowalska and Gracia. 32.8. Their two-phase score. Gracia, this 11-year-old mare. Unfortunately, hold down there at fence 3, 4 penalties. First part of that treble goes, it rubbed the second, but they were okay on. Combination who was sat in 36th overnight. Well, 2 poles down, 8 penalties there for Zuzana.
Arrivano 2 errori,
Gracia,
con un ingresso
40.8 the total score, so into
colori
47th position on our overall
chef
leaderboard.
de piste di questa prova di salto, Emanuele Addis. Andiamo a seguire invece adesso l'Italia, di Andrea Gaia 17, Luvis,
Of the team.
hanno 32,3 punti negativi dopo le 2 prove e sono un binomio del team
12th
azzurro.
position after 2 phases.
Team Italy.
Now we turn
Italian team, Andrea Gaia 17, Luvis.
and Luvis. 32.3 their 2-phase score. Combination sat in 33rd overnight. adding to 8 penalties there so far from their round. So down this final line. Just one fence left for Andrea. So 8 penalties inside the time
Un
allowed.
peccato, proprio sono proprio i colori
Three
dell'Italia che vanno a tradire il nostro binomio. 8 penalità, tutte nella doppia gabbia. Questo è il risultato per Andrea Gaelis e Luvis.
47.
8
46th position.
Lewis, 40.30 to the point after short
Current
jump.
leader out in front from our riders that have completed
Anne
33.4 from Nesta
Enzo
Cooley,
G,
Diamond
Belgio,
Dancer.
e lui fa parte del team.
As we move on to a team rider for Belgium,
For Belgium
Congrats
team, Anne Konigratz,
and
Enzo.
Enzo G. Enzo G, this 14-year-old gelding, down to this influential treble. Very much over to the right, but they're clear through all 3 elements. It's a combination, a new partnership this year. Just unfortunately not quite getting up in the air over fence 7 there. So 8 penalties to add for Konigratz. 40.3 will be the total score there for Enzo G. So they drop down into
8-4 for Anne
44th
Konigratz
position
and Enzo, 40.30 total point at the short jump. 8 le penalità per Anne Konigratz e Enzo, quindi 40 e 30 i punti totali dopo le 3 prove.
Adesso la Gran
Next join us
Bretagna
in the
ha
arena will
una
be an
bel
individual rider coming
Grazie.
forwards. This time it's an individual rider for Great Britain. Annabelle Finston and Grafels join us in the arena. Grafels by Burkhoff Grafenstall.
Annabelle Finston, yes, for Great Britain, she's competing as an individual.
Grafels is 12-year-old mare. Combination who have competed up to the 120 level pure show jumping. Unfortunately, fence 3-4, so 4 penalties to add there. And 2 elements of the treble, so 12 penalties so far. Grafels has been part of the Finston family for some time now. Previously ridden by Annabelle's sister. So on 16 coming to the final fence. And unfortunately last fence goes, so 20 penalties there for Annabelle Finston and Grafels. Inside the time allowed.
Complessive.
So
Annabelle
not the finish to the
Finston.
weekend they would have liked, however, a completion at a Junior European Championships.
24
huge achievement
Annabelle Finston,
in
Grafels,
itself.
52.20 total point of the short jump.
As we move on now to another individual rider in the arena, but this time it's for Belgium. Baptiste Hall, Fast and Devil.
Belgio.
32 their two-phase score. Fast and Devil is 8-year-old gelding. 4 penalties from fence 2 there. Through the influential treble combination with no issues. And fence 7 fell, back end catching that, so 8 penalties as they head round into the latter stages of the course. So 8 penalties, 40 is the total score for Baptiste Hall, Fast and Devil. Individual riders there for Belgium, so that drops them into 41st position from our overall standings. But still our leader from our completed riders is Tom Nesta, Cooley Diamond Dancer for Ireland. So that's the score to beat, 33.4. But what will we see from our next individual rider in the arena coming forwards for Great Britain? Also on a score of 32. This is how tight this competition has been. It's the turn of Joshua Levitt, and this one's on you by Ars Vivendi. This one's on you, a 14-year-old gelding. And looking to be jumping well in this very early stages of the course. Well, unfortunately catching that last part of the treble, 4 penalties there. Josh, who's been partnered with This One's on You for 4 years now. Coming into this competition with some fantastic form. 4 foot Belsay 2-star long this year. Picked up a 3rd in Mill Street 2-star long last year. One fence left now for Joshua Levitt. This one's on you. Well, just the 4 to add there, 36 their final score across the 4 days of competition.
This one's on you, 36 total point of the short jump.
They dropped down to 35th place on our overall standings. Initially CFS high spec
Siamo all'Olanda,
36.
in questo caso un percorso per la classifica individuale.
I say it's Tom Nesta, Cooley Diamond Dancer for Ireland, out in front of our completed riders on 33.4.
He is competing as an individual.
Now we turn to the very eye-catching jackets of the Netherlands. Senna Van Hout and Calgary 92 come forward with a 2-phase score of 32. Sat in 29th position overnight. Calgary 92, this 8-year-old gelding. By Connor 48. It's looking good so far in this first half of the course. Very neat over the upright there. Fence 5. Approaching down this final line. Time is looking good. And they become our new current leaders of our completed riders. Just one fence between them. And finishing on their dressage score, they do exactly that. And look what it means to Senna. They will finish on that dressage score of 32. And now that is the score to lead.
32 total point of the show.
Calgary 92.
La Germania di
The
Frederick
worst place they'll be overall is 28th, but they're currently out in front on our completed scores.
For Germany, Frederick
We move on now to Frederick Van
He is competing as an individual.
Coming forward as individual riders for Germany. 31.9 their two-phase score. Sat in 28th as they come into this final phase. Unfortunately, 2 poles go down there in the treble combination at 4, so 8 penalties to add. Katanza, this 13-year-old gelding. Clear inside the time on cross country yesterday. Continuing their fantastic form, notoriously fast at this level. Having only had 3.8 time penalties since April 2022. So 16 penalties, 47.9 the final score there for
con 16, una gara divisa un po' a metà, la prima parte davvero buona, poi arrivano gli errori, ovviamente siamo in terza giornata, anche un po' di stanchezza per fare la differenza.
So it's still Senna Van Hout, Calgary 92, who were our previous rider in the arena. 32 is the score to beat. But what will we see from our next French rider? We've already had one fantastic round for France. That was Liliane Watson and Duvenet Blanche, who finished on her dressage score of 34. But now it is the turn of Lou Gilio Segun and Kassari de Hans. 31.7 they come forward with after 2 phases. Now that middle section down in the treble, 4 penalties to add there. Lou, who competes up to the 125 level show jumping with her other horse, Grand Chateau. So no stranger to a show jump ring. Some clever footwork over that final double. Coming in on the 4 penalties, and it stays 35.7 will be their free phase score. So that puts them into 34th position on our overall standings, pushing Joshua Levitt, this one's on you, into 35th.
Questa è la chiusura per bronzo per la Francia.
As we turn our attentions to Team Rider coming forward for Austria, Leonie Sagner and Space Jet. 31.6, sat in 26th position overnight. Now Space Jet is in fact our oldest horse in the field at 19 years old. Combination who were inside the time yesterday on the cross country and continued their stellar form. Another one who was notoriously quick. They've always made the time cross country at the 2-star level. But what can they do here today in the show jumping? Down to this influential treble. No issues through there. Well, they're looking very springy indeed on this final day so far, but they're halfway round. And unfortunately, the fence 7 across the middle there falls, so 4 penalties added to their score. So 35.6, the free phase score there for Leonie Sagner Space Jet, our oldest horse in the field at 19 years old. So that means that they will move down into 32nd position on our overall standings.
Andiamo avanti con la Svezia.
As we move on to Signe van Strand for Sweden and Alan the Fifth.
Signe van Strand, Alan. She is competing
31.4 is their two-phase score. Sat in 25th position overnight. So still out in front. Senna Van Hout, Calgary 92, 32 is their final score. Ooh, and unfortunately they run into trouble at that second element. Signe doing very well to stay stuck in the saddle. Clear on that second time of asking. This will be 4 penalties for that refusal. So over the time there, 8 seconds over the time, and of course that one refusal, so 12 penalties for Signe van Strand and Alan the Fifth. As we turn our attentions to our next rider coming forwards for Great Britain, riding as part of the British team who are currently in silver medal position, so every round counts in this team competition. Because Great Britain just 0.9 penalties ahead of France. And Germany only have 1 pole in hand in front of Great Britain, so for Britain to keep the pressure on Germany, they need to be jumping clear. Well, it's now down to Jasmine Underwood, Indian Girl G. 30.8 is their two-phase score. Jasmine's second year riding at the junior level with Indian Girl G. Part of the gold medal winning team at last year's European Championship. They were 12th individually as well at last year's championships. And it's looking good as they're coming down to their final line. Just one fence left. And they've done it well inside the time allowed. 30.8 is the score they finish on. Jasmine Underwood, Indian Girl G, continue to pile the pressure on Germany and of course rocket themselves up to the top of the leaderboard of our completed scores. 30.8 is now the score to beat. Senna van Hout, Calgary 92, dropped down into second of our completed scores. Tom Nestor, Cooley Diamond Dancer in third. Well, on we go. The competition doesn't stop as we turn to a team rider for Sophie Wiening, coming forwards as part of the Netherlands. Jimmy Chu M now in the arena. They were 23rd overnight on a score of 30.7.
Jimmy Chu M.
For Netherlands, Sophie Wiening, Jimmy. She's competing for the team.
Jimmy Chu M, this 9-year-old gelding by Star Power. Well, fence 3-4, so 4 penalties to add. But they're safely through the treble combination there at 4. Combination, we're top 15 last year at the Junior Europeans, placing 13th, just behind our previous rider, Jasmine Underwood, Indian Girl G, who were 12th individually. I'm getting a little close to fence 7, so unfortunately 8 penalties now as they head to this final line. So 38.7 will be the final score for Sophie Wiening, Jimmy Chu M. 8 penalties picked up from the show jumping.
8.70 total points after show jumping.
38.7. They head into 34th on our overall standings. Pushing Albert, Salah Alonso, Kiss My Jam, they went down into 35th. So it's Great Britain out in front on our completed scores, but we have a fellow Brit in the arena now. Another part of the Great British team. It's Pippa Royal and Beano, 30.5 their two-phase score. Beano by Contendro. Like I say, Germany 1 pole in hand ahead of Great Britain, so Great Britain need to keep jumping clear to add the pressure to the Germans. Well, they rattled through the treble combination, but the pole stayed up, and that's what matters. Beano, 17 years old. Combination, the current junior British national champions. Former ride of Caroline Harris. beg your pardon, owned by Caroline Harris, former rider Flora Harris. Well, one pole down, 34.5, the total score there for Pippa Royal Baiano for Great Britain. So 34.5 will drop them into 28th on our overall leaderboard, pushing Kusa Teresa and Quantos Mer back into 29th. Still Jasmine Underwood, Indian Girl G. 30.8 the score to beat on our completed rounds here at the Junior Europeans in Motelibretti. The show jump course designed by Emmanuel Addis. What can we see from our next rider in the arena coming forward as part of the team for Austria? Jana Enya, Sunday's gold. Back end tapping fence too there, and it does fall. Sunday's gold, this 10-year-old gelding. High staccato gold. Combination who were top 30 at the Junior Europeans last year, finishing 27th there. Have in fact already picked up 2 wins at the 3-star level. Coming around to the final fence on 4 faults. And that's how it stays. 34.4 will be the free phase score for Jana and Sunday's gold.
Applauso degli amici austriaci, un buon giro 4, questo il risultato.
So 34.4. They will go into 27th position, pushing Pippa Royal Baiano into 28th on our overall standings. But here's our leaderboard from our currently finished competitors. It's Jasmine Underwood out in front, 30.8 the score to beat. Well, what will we see here from our team rider from Poland, Zuzanna Spolowicz and Bankia? Sat in 20th place coming into the show jumping. 30.3 is their 2-phase score. Bankia by for once. Safely through the treble combination. This 12-year-old gelding. It's a combination of not being outside the top 3 internationally this year. We're coming down to our final 3 fences. Still jumping clear. Will they become our new leaders of completed scores? Yes, they will. Clear jumping well inside that time allowed. They will finish there on 30.3. Pushing Jasmine Underwood, Indian Girl G, into 2nd place on our completed scores. So the worst that Jana Enyas will finish on our overall standings is 20th.
Signori, stiamo arrivando nella parte alta della classifica. Adesso vedremo i migliori 19 e proseguiamo con Pip van der Salm, Debbie. Debbie è una femmina
Move on
olandese,
now to
da Danone,
a team rider coming forward.
E Pip van der Salm.
For Netherlands, Pip van der Sar.
For the Netherlands,
As an
it is
individual.
Pip van der Sam and Debbie. 19th place overnight. 30.2 is their two-phase score, but unfortunately the first fence falls, so 4 penalties to add already. Fence 3 goes as well, so 8 penalties as they head down to this influential treble. And they pick up another 4 there. Down to our final line now, coming in so far on 12 penalties, 4 fences left to jump. So last fence goes as well, 16 penalties there for Pip van der Slam and Debbie, riding as individuals for the Netherlands. So 30.3 from Susanna Spolowicz and Bankier, the score to beat. As we move on to our next rider, part of the team coming forward for Germany. Germany currently in gold medal position as they head into their show jumping rounds. They have a pole in hand in front of Great Britain.
Pip van der Sar, Debbie, over the time 72.12.
Well, what will we see from this young man, Matti Garlis and Ludwig 282 coming forward into the ring now, 29.8 in 18th position overnight. Ludwig 282 by light on. Ludwig 282, this 11-year-old gelding. This combination have been top 10 at both the 2021 and 2022 Junior Europeans. Can they make it another top 10 here in Motelibretti? Well, it's looking good so far. Clear as they approach this final straight of fences. Well, 4 faults to add there from Matigalis. Ludwig 282, 33.8 will be their final score. 33.8. Same score as Amelia McCarthy and Finskool Endeavour.
For Spain team,
So they go into
Aquilo.
joint 5th on our completed scores. It's still Susanna Spolowicz and Bankier who are out in front on 30.3. Now we move on to David Perian Campos and Aquilo DV 3301. 29.7 was their dressage score. And jumped clear inside the time yesterday on the cross country. Combination who were at the Junior Europeans last year picked up a top 20 finish with 19th. They've had 6 wins internationally since 2020. Come into the final fence clear. And over the last, nothing to add, 29.7. You can see how happy the Spanish support crew are. 29.7. That means there'll be the new score to beat from our completed riders into the lead on our completed leaderboard for David Campos at Kilo DV 3301. And the worst they'll be overall is 16th position individually. So 29.7 the score to beat now as we turn our attention to another rider coming forward for Germany, but this time an individual rider is Ella Kruger. Conan's baller, fine tendant. Dressage score of 29.4. Another rider to jump clear inside the time yesterday on cross country. 16th position overnight. Well, unfortunately, fence 2, 4 just not quite getting up high enough in the air there. And the same again there at fence 3. So, not to be on the final day there for Ella Kruger, Conan's baller. 24 penalties to add there. But completion at the Junior European Championships is most definitely not to be sniffed at. As we head on now to another individual rider in the arena, but this time coming forward for Denmark, Caroline Larsen and Allerup Gans Fantastique. My favourite task. 29.1 is their two-phase score, 15th position overnight. Middle of the treble going, so 4 penalties to add there for this 8-year-old mare. A little bit of a twist in the air over fence 6, but the poles stay up. coming in on 8 penalties. So a total of 8 there. Caroline Larson, Anna Upgaard's fantastic 37.1 is the score that they will finish on. So they drop down into joint 31st with Sarah Rudishili and CFS High Spec for Switzerland. So still out in front of our completed riders is David Perian Campos and Kio DV3301. Now we turn our attentions to Splinter Bergsma, coming forwards as part of the team for the Netherlands, Vigo Key SRZ 28.6, their two-phase score. Down to this influential treble here at 4. Bit of a rattle over that second element, but the poles stay in the cups. This combination of being to 2 European Championships together, finished top 35 in both. Unfortunately, one down there at fence 7, 4 penalties as they approach the final line. On the back end of the double going as well, so 8 penalties in total as they complete their round. 36.6 the final score. So we'll go into 29th position. Pushing Caroline Larson and Anna Upgaard's fantastic into 30th. So they will retain their record of finishing top 35 in every single European Championships they have been to.
La Finlandia con Anselmi Laio.
As we move on now to the next team rider in the arena, this time for Team Finland. Salmi Leho and Krogarden Tenner. 28.3 there at two-phase score. Krogarden Tenner by Ludwig's Concept. Fence 3 falling there, so 4 penalties early on for this combination. And the middle part of the treble goes, so 8 so far. Combination who were 45th at the Junior Europeans last year. Just one fence left. So it stays on the 8 penalties, 36.3 the final score for Anselmi Laiho and Krogarden Tenner. So they will move down to 29th position. So they have improved on last year's 35th finishing score, so big improvement there as we now turn our attentions to an individual rider coming forward for France. They were 11th overnight. It's Faustine Lemos and Corleone tops.
Corleone tops.
28.2 their two-phase score. As we're entering into our last 10 riders coming forwards in this Junior European Championship. Corleone tops by Tinker's Boy. And it's looking good so far as they approach the midsection of the course, getting in close to the water tray there, but the poles stay up. Miscommunication on the stride there as they approach fence 8. So one pole down. So they approach the last. 32.2 will be the free face score. 4 penalties to add from the show jumping.
Faustina e Corleone top, quindi fino a questo momento il lead provvisorio David Perignan Campos, lui era 17esimo dopo le due prove.
5 of our completed scores. Currently leading our completed scores. David Perignan Campos with Kilo DV 3301. 29.7 is the score to beat. We turn our attentions to this next man in the arena, rated on the ratings data as one of the best show jumpers in the field. And of course, last year's individual gold medalist Mathis Ruder and Bon Ton coming forward on their two-phase score of 28. Combination who've already picked up 2 wins internationally this year. If they jump clear, they go to the top of our completed scores leaderboard. Can they make it a third this year? Can they hold on to their individual gold title that they currently have from Hartpury Europeans last year? And they have to jump clear if they want to go to the top of the leaderboard. Looking good, free fences from home. Rated as one of the best jumpers in the field. And they've done it. 28 is what they will finish on, well inside the time allowed. And they are on track to retain their individual gold medal. They go to the top of our completed scores. 28, the score to beat there from Mathis Ruder and Bon Ton.
28 total point of the show jumping.
Ma andiamo a salire in quella che è la classifica. Adesso c'è lei per Axi 5 di Us, questo figlio di Cannan, una linea importante, anche linea materna, quella di Prestige Pillow, e loro fanno.
Well, on we go now to a team rider for the Netherlands. Leiden Aber coming forward with Asiginko de Hus. 28. Their two-phase score, so on the same score as Mathis Ruder. But we're just closer to the optimum time yesterday out on cross-country. Well, fence 3 falls, so Matty's still holding on to the lead of our completed combinations. Unfortunately, 2 more go there, so 12 penalties as they head into the midsection of the show jumping. And the water tray goes as well. So 1 to 16 penalties. So 20 penalties from the show jumping there.
Arriva l'applauso, è giusto, noi siamo stati con questi atleti per 4 giorni,
so
purtroppo
not
sono
the
20
finish they were hoping for
va a complicare la situazione
European
sia
Championships.
ma anche e soprattutto della squadra olandese.
24 for Leidenhaber, 48 total point.
So we turn our attentions to our next rider to join us in the arena. As an individual for France, Tescarer and Grafit de Z. Another one of our horses coming forward by Grafenstock. 27.5 their two-phase score. So a clear round is necessary if they want to keep, or if they want to head to the top of our completed leaderboard. Little rattle there at 3, but they get away with it. Rattle there again in the middle of the treble. The poles are staying in place. Well, unfortunately, they didn't quite stay in place over fence 5, the water tray in the middle of the arena. So 4 penalties, 31.5 as they head round to fence 7. Well, 31.5, 1 pole down, so 4 penalties to add from the show jump in. These Tescarer, Grafit de Z will go into 5th place on our completed scores leaderboard. Pushing Senavan Hoop Calgary 92 down into 6th place. That's of course on our completed leaderboard. As we have 7 riders left to join us in the arena. A team rider coming forward now for Germany, Emily Krubel, and Entertain You. Zion Bundy, 25.8 was their two-phase score.
80 penalty point. Team Germany.
Entertain You, a 15-year-old gelding. Ones we're keeping an eye on in this phase because they've not had a single jumping foal internationally since becoming a combination. Can they keep that streak alive when it matters? We'll wait and see. Taking quite an economical turn into fence 6. Oh, and unfortunately the streak ends as they have fence 8 down. So 4 faults, 29.8 is the final score for Emily Krubel. Entertain You, 29.8. Well, they go into 2nd place on our individual leaderboard from our completed riders, pushing David Parian Campos at Kilo DV 33.01 back into 3rd. but it's still our reigning European individual champion from last year, Matthijs Ruder, Bon Ton, out in front on that score of 28. And as every rider comes in, they seem to be climbing.
Sixth place after first count, 25.70.
What will we see here from our French team rider, Rachel Weiler and Riviero? 25.7 was their score from the first two phases. So front fence 3 4s, so 4 penalties to add there. 29.7 so far. Down to our final line. Coming in on the 4 penalties. And that's what they finish on from the show jumping, 29.7. The final score, and they go into third place on our leaderboard on the same score as David Perignan Campos and Akilo DV, 33.01. But David closer to the optimum time yesterday on cross country. So Matthijs Ruder, Bon Ton, slowly edging closer to another gold medal. But we have 5 riders left to go in the arena. And one of them is this young lady who picked up the silver individually last year at the Junior European Championships on home soil at Hartpury, Great Britain. Riding as part of the team, it's Isabel Cook. And a Mexican Law, 25.5, their 2-phase score. Mexican Law, a homebred by Billy Mexico. Tina Cook, Isabel's mum, previously rode Mexican Law up to the advanced level. Well, halfway round and looking good so far. Down to the final line, still clear. Rated as one of the best jumpers in the field on the ECRA ratings data. Just 1 fence left now for Isabel Cook. Mexican Law. And the clear round has come, 25.5. They are 1 step closer to a gold medal individually. They were our silver medalists last year. Can they get the gold this year? Well, they go into the lead on our completed scores, and it is looking very exciting for Great Britain. So Isabel Cook, Mexican Law into the lead. Matthijs Ruder and Bon Ton slip into second. Will we see role reversal this year? Will Matthijs pick up the silver? Will Isabel pick up the gold? We'll have to wait and see, but it most definitely isn't over because Anna Price is in the ring now, riding as part of the team for Great Britain with Keep Happy, 25.4. Keep Happy, this 8-year-old by Connect. They recently won the Under-18 Championships at Bishop Burton. A little bit of a rattle through the treble, but the poles stay up. Looking good so far. Bit of a reminder as they approach the Oxer at fence 6. One fence left. And they've done it. Anna Price, keep happy. Slots in front of Isabel Cook, Mexican Law. They finish on that dressage score 25.4, just 0.1 of a penalty in front of teammate Isabel Cook, Mexican Law. Wow, it's looking good for the British. Individually 1-2 at the moment. Germany in third, Mathies Ruder, Bon Ton. We have three riders left. Really, really is hotting up. So here's our individual standings. Well, next to join us in the arena, riding as part of the French team, Jean Brunel and Dexter Z. 24.9 their two-phase score. A clear is necessary if they want to stay in front of Great Britain's Anna Price and keep happy. Well, really springing so far, especially through the treble combination. And over the water tray there, Jean Brunel, Dexter Z. Combination have only had 2 international runs together, and they finished on their dressage score in both of them. Can they make this number 3? It's looking very good so far. Absolutely springing as they approach the final fence. And there it is, Jean Brunel, Dexter Z. Clear round, and look what it means when she knows that the worst she's going to have is a bronze medal individually at the Junior European Championships. She goes into the lead on our completed competitors, pushing Anna Price, keep happy, into second. Isabel Cook, Mexican Law, into third. But the worst place they'll be overall is bronze medal position there for Jean Brunel, Dexter Z. Gosh, this competition is really heating up, and we have 2 to go for the home nation. Will there be a win from an individual win from the home nation? We'll have to wait and see, but it's the turn of Leopoldo Petrini, Emerald Johnny. 24.8 the two-phase score. This combination coming forward as individuals. Coming down to this influential treble combination. Rubbing the first. Much better over the second 2 elements. Emerald Johnny by Waldo Valdungan. Over halfway. The final straight, 4 fences between them and home. Getting in close to that first element. Can they do it? Yes, they can. 24.8. You can just see what it means to pick up a medal at your home Europeans there for Leopoldo. Absolutely delighted with his performance, and quite rightly so, into the lead on our completed combinations. And the worst they can be is second place. They will be walking home with an individual medal. And the relief you can see on his face is just phenomenal. Now we turn to the young lady who has been leading from the beginning. Smilla Malin-Phillips Serboggles for Germany, riding as part of the German team as well. She has to jump clear if she's going to take home the individual gold. All down to Smilla Malin-Phillips Serboggles 23.5, the two-phase score. Rattle at fence 2 there. Bit of an awkward jump over the first element of the treble, but pays off. They're clear so far, down to this water tray. You can hear a pin drop as she approaches this final line. Just one fence left. And she's done it. Absolutely incredible. Your individual junior European champion, Smilla Malin-Phillips Serboggles for Germany. Germany keep hold of that individual title, which makes 4 years on the trot that Germany have taken the gold individually. Smilla Malin-Phillips, absolutely fantastic ride from start to finish.
Smilla Malin-Phillips Serboggles, gold medalist, the European Eventing Championship 2020.
Really phenomenal weekend for Germany. Like I say, 4 individual gold medals on the bounce. Moments like this you really have to cherish, and remember the names of these young riders, because I'm sure that they will be making their way up through the ranks, and we'll see them at a Senior Europeans or a Senior Championship one day. But Smilla Malin-Phillips Serboggles are your 2023 FEI European Eventing Champions. And as for the teams, it's Germany who have finished on 81.3. So the gold medal going to Germany. Individual and team gold medalists. It has really been a fantastic weekend for the Germans, but it's also been quite the weekend for the Italians. Here's our individual leaderboard, and like I say, Smilla Malin-Phillips taking that gold medal. But it's Leopoldo Petrini, individual silver, 24.8, and Jean Brunel for France, 24.9. Just such a tight competition. So the Brits there in 4th and 5th, but rounding out that top 10 for Poland, Zuzanna Spolowicz. It really has been a fantastic competition here at Motelibretti. 4 days of brilliant action, and all of it on FEI.tv. So if you've missed any of the action, do head back to FEI.tv, where you can watch the 2 days of dressage, yesterday's cross country, and what has been a thrilling morning of show jumping here for our juniors. Germany taking that double gold individually and as a team. Germany were bronze last year, but they've taken the gold this year. But a really fantastic performance as well from Leopoldo Petrini, who was 32nd at the Europeans last year and has now made his way up to 2nd this year. What a phenomenal achievement, and riding just as an individual, not part of the Italian team. And you could just see how much it meant to him, especially on home soil here in Motelibretti. Really fantastic achievement. And Jean Brunel there, who was riding beautifully from start to finish for France, picking up the bronze medal. Fantastic weekend of competition. Great Britain there, like I said, in 4th and 5th. Anna Price, keep happy. Isabel Cook with Mexican law, so just outside the medal winning positions. Isabel Cook, Mexican law, last year's silver medalist. And of course, Mathis Ruder Bonton in 6th place. Last year's individual gold medalist for Germany. David Penyan Campos and a Kilo DV 33.01 in 7th. Be absolutely delighted with that performance. He came to the Europeans last year and was 19th last year, so really climbed up the leaderboard this year compared to last. So as it stands on our teams, we need to wait for them to be confirmed, but it looks like it was Germany with the gold medal, Great Britain with the silver, and France picking up the bronze. So last year it was Great Britain, Ireland, Germany. This year, Germany, Great Britain and France. Well, but that's not all the action we've got today, because we will be back later with our young riders coming forward. Our young riders will be show jumping, and that will start at 2:30 Central European Summertime, so do make sure you stay tuned for that. But for now, that's all we have for our Junior FEI European Eventing Championships 2023. It has been a fantastic weekend, but in regards to the teams, it's Germany who will take home the gold medal, Great Britain in silver, France in bronze. And as for the individual, it's a double gold there for Germany, with Miller Malin Phillips and Sir Boggles taking that win, 23.5 for the home nation. As an individual, Leopoldo Petrini, Emerald Johnny taking the silver, 23.4, and Jean Brunel for France, Dexter Z 24.9. Thank you so much for tuning in to FEI TV and watching all the action. Like I said, you can go and relive it all on FEI.tv if you've missed any of it. But don't go far, because at 2:30 Central European Summertime, we'll be back with our young rider show jumping on FEI.tv.
signori, tra poco andremo ufficialmente a iniziare questa cerimonia di premiazione. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start in a few minutes with the first prize giving.
We will run. We will read now the final. Final results for the European Eventing Championships Juniors 2023. The winner is for Germany, Sue Buggles with Mali Philip. Second position, Emerald Johnny with Filippo Petrini, Italy. Third position, France, Dexter Zed with Jean Brunel. Fourth place, Keep Happy with Anna Price for Great Britain. Fifth place, Mexican Flow with Isabel Cook, Great Britain. Sixth place, Bon Ton with Mathis Ruder, German. Seventh place, Arquilo with David Perignan Campos, Spain. And eighth place, Riviero with Rachel Whaler, France. These are the first 8 riders of the Junior Championships.
Allora signori, le avete sentite una delle nostre voci ufficiali di questa edizione che andava a ricordare ufficialmente quella che è la classifica. Ovviamente molti di voi già la conoscono, la vado a ricordare anche per gli amici italiani: la vittoria della medaglia d'oro a Smilla Malin Philipp, Germania, l'argento che resta in Italia con Leopoldo Petrini, Emerald Johnny, Jean Brunel il bronzo, poi Anna Price la quarta posizione, la quinta di Isabel Cook, Matthias Röder la Germania sesta posizione, settimo e Davide Perignan Campos e l'ottava è Raj Weiler. Questi sono i migliori 8 concorrenti che vedremo tra poco nell'Arena Piazza di Siena per questa edizione 2023 del campionato d'Europa di concorso completo. E allora signori, alla vostra sinistra vedete la banda dell'arma trasporti e materiali dell'esercito italiano. Signori, facciamo un grande applauso, vado ovviamente a ringraziare ancora una volta con noi, abbiamo aperto questa edizione 2023 e adesso sarà proprio la banda a sottolineare l'ingresso della schierante del reggimento Lancieri di Montebello, ottavo. Eccoli qui signori, i migliori di questo campionato d'Europa. Facciamo un grande applauso a tutti quanti loro, davvero è stata una gara molto molto bella a mio avviso, e questo è il responso del campo con la prima posizione di Smila Manin-Filip, Leopoldo Petrini e Jean Brunel. Ma a questo punto andiamo.
Here they are, the best of these junior individual riders. European Championships, the winner is for Germany, Smila Melanie Philip. Second, Italy, Leopoldo Petrini. Third, Joan Brunel.
E questo è il podio, ma andiamo a invitare tutte le nostre autorità a scendere per la cerimonia di premiazione ufficiale di questa edizione 2023, ancora una volta dopo il 2016 targata Motelibretti, e quindi generale di corpo d'armata Mauro Dubaldi, comandante logistico dell'esercito italiano, il presidente FEI, l'avvocato Marco Di Paola, in rappresentanza del sindaco della città metropolitana di Roma Capitale, la consigliera Alessia Pieretti, comandante del centro militare di equitazione, il colonnello Marco Del Nevo, e il presidente dell'Associazione Nazionale di Cavalleria Colo Colazzo, brigadiere generale Francesco Caramia.
We invite the grooms for the first three riders to keep the horse.
E quindi se ci sono per favore degli assistenti per aiutarci con i cavalli dei primi tre classificati. E allora signori, andiamo a nominare la medaglia di bronzo per la Francia, Jean Brunel.
Bronze medal for France, Joan Brunel with Dexter.
La seconda posizione, la medaglia d'argento, una medaglia voluta, sudata, che resta in Italia, ed è quella di Leopoldo Petrini, l'Italia.
Second place for Italy, silver medal, Leopoldo Petrini with Emerald Johnny.
Ma le gare sono belle quando i rivali sono forti. Lei è entrata per ultima con tantissima pressione ed è la migliore di questa edizione per la Germania, Smila Manin-Filip.
The best of this championships junior is for Germany, Smila Manin-Filip.
E a questo punto, signori, andiamo ad ascoltare l'inno della Germania, che è il paese di appartenenza della vincitrice di questa edizione 2023. Signori, vince lei, Smila Manin-Filip, Germania, Leopoldo Petrini, Italia, e Jean Brunel, Francia. Questo è il podio.
Here they are, the best three. For Germany, Smila Manin-Filip, Leopoldo Petrini and Joan Brunel.
E andremo subito a premiare la medaglia d'oro per questa fantastica mazzo con il suo Sir Bogle. Ed è proprio il generale di Corpo d'Armata Mauro Dubaldi, comandante logistico dell'esercito italiano, a complimentarsi con la Amazzone prima classificata in questa edizione 2023 del campionato d'Europa Juniors. Smil, Malin, Filip.
And here, gold medal goes to her, to the best, to Smila Filip.
I complimenti ovviamente anche del presidente della FISE, l'avvocato Marco Di Paola. E andiamo proprio a ricordare questo momento, la foto di Rita con l'avvocato Di Paola in rappresentanza della Federazione Italiana Sport Equestri. In rappresentanza anche del sindaco della città metropolitana di Roma Capitale, la consigliera, la dottoressa Alessia Pieretti. Eccoli qui i complimenti. Ed ecco qui e ovviamente ringraziamo anche la presenza del comandante del centro militare di equitazione colonnello Marco Del Nevo e la presenza del generale brigadiere Francesco Caramino. Andiamo adesso, signori, alla medaglia d'argento di Leopoldo Petrini, l'Italia.
Silver medal for Italy, Leopoldo Petrini.
Il corpo d'armata Mauro Dubaldi che andava a consegnare insieme al comandante del centro militare di equitazione il colonnello Marco Del Nevo. I complimenti anche della dottoressa Alessia Pieretti e queste sono i complimenti a questa bella seconda posizione dell'Italia, questa bella seconda posizione di Leopoldo Petrini. Andiamo, signori, adesso a complimentarci con una bella medaglia di bronzo, che va a un'altra amazzone. Lei è Jeanne Brunel con Dexter per la Francia.
Bronze medal goes to Joanne Brunel for France with Dexter Zelt.
Eccoli qui i complimenti ancora il generale di Corpo d'Armata Mauro Dubaldi a complimentarsi con la terza classificata, la medaglia della FEI, la medaglia di bronzo, la coppa e la coccarda, ovviamente coppa e coccarda offerte proprio dal comitato organizzatore, quindi voglio ancora una volta ringraziare tutte le persone che hanno lavorato a questo evento qui a Motelibretti. I complimenti di Marco Di Paola, avvocato presidente della Federazione Italiana Sport Equestri, e poi anche l'oggetto offerto da uno dei nostri sponsor, prodotti tipici portato da Confartigianato di Rieti. E ovviamente ringrazio ancora una volta per il patrocinio la dottoressa Alessia Pieretti. Questa è la foto del podio. Signori, facciamo un grande applauso ai migliori di questa edizione. Al podio l'oro a Smilla Malin Filip, l'argento Leopoldo Petrini, Jean Brunel, il bronzo. Ma andiamo alla quarta posizione, the first position for Anna Price.
Quinto posto è per Isabel Cook, Mexican Road.
Ed ecco che vanno proprio a complimentarsi con la quarta classificata Anna Price, la Gran Bretagna, Keep Happy.
Fourth place for Great Britain, Anna Price with Keep Happy.
E andiamo alla quinta posizione di Isabelle Cook, ancora la Gran Bretagna, Mexican Law.
Fifth place again for Great Britain. Isabel Cook with Mexican Law.
E siamo alla sesta posizione di Matthias Ruder, Bonton, Germania.
Sixth place for Germany. Mathieu Ruder with Bonton.
E andiamo alla settima posizione, vedete la bandiera, è quella della Spagna, la Spagna di Archio e David Perignan Campos, settimi in questo campionato d'Europa.
Seventh place for Spain. David Perignan with Arquilo.
E andiamo all'ottava posizione di Rachel Veller, Riviero, e ancora quindi la Francia.
And the eighth place goes to Rachel Weiler with Riviero for France.
Signori, questi sono i migliori 8 cavalieri di questo campionato d'Europa, quindi invito i primi 3 classificati a salire sui propri cavalli.
We invite the first 3 riders to go back on your horse.
E a questo punto sarà proprio la schierante a lasciare la nostra arena di gara, il campo Piazza di Siena, mentre i nostri atleti salgono a cavallo.
Wait, if you can please wait till they go out.
E adesso signori, il giro d'onore per andare ad applaudire i protagonisti, i migliori di questo campionato d'Europa, lo faremo sulla più classica delle marce.
And now the lap of honor for the best riders to the European Championships Junior.
I migliori di questo campionato d'Europa, Smilla Malin Philip, Germania, l'oro.
The winner, the best rider for Germany, Mila Melin Philip.
E poi l'argento di Leopoldo Petrini e Jean Brunello in bronzo, e poi Anna Price, Isabel Cook, Matthias Röder, David Perignan Campos e Rachel Veller.
Here they are, gold medalist
Eccoli qui.
Philip for Germany, silver medal for Petrini Leopoldo, Italy, and third bronze medal for France, Joan Brunel.
Eccoli qua, è solo per noi, solo per applaudire la vincitrice, ancora un giro della medaglia d'oro di questa edizione 2023 targata Motelibretti, Smilla Malin Philip del